like, she know you know you. She know you was broke. You told her all that. You're the one who chose to be all S on my chest because I'm ready to save him. I said, Nikki? An All-American? If 2 + 2 is 4, she know what's up. This got me too. This sealed the deal right here. She said, there's a second chance to get to know your dad in a way that time stole from you. I said poetry. The fact that this girl's baby Serena, I ain't know this whole time. Make it right. Get out my face, girl. That's what she really wanted to tell her. Get out my face. Hey guys, it's Kaya. In today's video, I'll be reviewing and recapping All American Season 3, Episode 6, Teenage Love. And that love was going through with this episode. But let's get into it. So we got Coop, who's headed to see Spencer after their whole, it's you. It's me? Yeah, from last week, right? But he's not there. So Mama Grace opens up and tells her that he's up at the cabin because he needs to get away for a bit. Flash to Spencer at the cabin. Homeboy look like he's taking it a little hard, you know, because it's the first time he's been back since his daddy done died there. And he's just reflecting back on the memories that he was able to make with his dad at that cabin. And it's hitting him hard, y'all. Now back at the Baker household, we got a broken garbage disposal, but we also got Liv and Layla up in there. And Layla is apparently avoiding the studio because, you know, it's a little awkward right now between Spencer and Coop, so she don't know how Coop is gonna react towards her. And turns out Asher has a little romantic weekend planned for Liv and him because they haven't had much alone time since they came back from summer. And she's asking about Spencer. So Layla's telling her, you know, he had to get away for a bit. He's up at the cabin. And Liv's like, alone? And Layla's like, yeah, you know, I offered to go with him, but he wanted to be alone. And Liv is telling her, I don't know if that's something he should be alone for. You know, you would want your friends around during this time because, you know, the last time he's been there, he lost his pops. She's trying to tell you what to do with your man, girl. So back with Coop and Mama Grace, Coop is asking her, you know, did you hear what happened between me and Spencer? And Mama Grace is telling her, yeah, not really seeming like she wants to take any sides between the two of them. And Coop is just wondering if she feels the same way, if she blames her for Spencer getting shot, which Mama Grace tells her, no, I don't blame you. And that she also loves her in the same way that she loves Dylan and Spencer, which is understandable because Coop's been in Spencer's life for years. So she also brings up a situation that they had previously when they were younger, and they were both at odds with each other, but they were able to work through it. And she feels that they can get through this situation as well, but Coop's not seeing it that way though. So now we get back to Spence, who's at the cabin, and he's taking it hard sitting by that water, y'all. And then he finally gets the courage to get up and try to go into the house. But the minute he opened up that front door and he see that chair that Papa Corey done died in, man, he was trying to dip, he was trying to dip how Simone was when she saw her baby with the adopted parents and she was trying to book it down the steps. Nah, but he was about to get in the car and then he sees these other vehicles pull up and the whole gang done arrive. Plus Vanessa, because she's not a part of the gang. She's a +1 in my books. So they all come, no Coop though. And they're there, you know, to support him. Ash is cranky because him and Liv's plans got canceled for the weekend, but he's there to support Spencer in his time of need. And Layla lets Spencer know as well that it was actually Olivia's idea for all of them to come and be there for him, which I was looking at like, he didn't want her to come. He wanted to be alone. But when they all show up, y'all see how he's down for it. Why? Because Liv is there. And Liv's his girl. My girl Layla just don't know it yet. But she gonna find out. So Two Belt Billy shows up at the Baker household and he's there to fix the garbage disposal. And him and Mama Laura was over there giving a little bit of eyes. Y'all saw that little flirtatious stuff going on between the two of them? And he also notices that she has some dresses laid up on the couch and he thinks it's for a romantic date or something. But you know, he goes about his business to fix the garbage disposal. And she also, she was like, hey B, thanks. I said, B? We're nicknaming now? We're on that level now? Y'all, that family about to be back together. and I'm here for it. So back at the cabin, we have the guys who are helping Spencer sort through his dad's belongings, what to keep, what to go in the junk pile, and JJ lets it be known that he plans on popping the question to Vanessa and ask her to be his girlfriend. So Jordan comes up with the nickname of the JJ. Whoever the writer was to create that nickname, props. Definite props. And meanwhile, Asher is just looking like, wait, what? And Spencer at the same time, you know, his own problems over here. He discovers a little canister that has something clearly meaningful in it that belonged to his dad. So now we have Liv, Simone, and Layla who are out on a hike. And Simone is clearly not made for this. Neither is Vanessa, hence why she's not there. And Liv makes a little smart remark regarding Vanessa's absence, to which Simone is looking between her and Layla like, what am I missing? So they end up telling her the whole situation about Summer and how she was in Mexico with Asher and how he hadn't told her until a few weeks after school started. And then we also find out from Simone that she has yet to complete her college essays, but Layla and Liv apparently did theirs. So they're wanting her to just enjoy the weekend and everything, but she really needs to focus on this so that way homegirl could go get that higher education. So as the girls are finishing up their hike, JJ, Jordan, and Asher have just finished sorting through Corey's stuff for Spencer, which they were screwing up before. And JJ whips out his porta potty so that way they can now have some fun, which is stocked with like booze and water guns and everything. So when the girls finally reach the cabin, they start this big water fight with everyone, but Layla realizes that Spencer is MIA. He's up in the cabin, and now we realize that the little canister he had was full of letters to him and Dylan throughout the years that his dad had never sent out. Spencer feels torn because this is a piece of Papa Corey from all those years that he was away. Layla doesn't feel that he should read the letters. She's saying it without saying it because it may just leave him with more questions than answers. But at the same time, she's telling him that it's his choice. Y'all, this girl Patience seems fed up. Understandable, because this girl Coop is bugging. She's up in Patience's house, and especially because Spencer isn't talking to her right now, so Patience all she got. She's up in her house and she's just complaining, usual Coop complaining, and she's upset because Patience is getting all these phone calls from little Jules, y'all, but she's not taking them. From little Jules, y'all, who's trying to hit her up. The one that stole her song, you know, Papa JP done took her song and gave it to this girl. That one. And Patience is telling her, I don't know what she wants from me yet. You see, I haven't been answering her calls. And Coop is just complaining about the whole Spencer situation. And Patience is telling her, well, if he's up at the cabin, why don't you go talk to him? Make it right. Get out my face, girl. That's what she really wanted to tell her. Get out my face. Like, you over here complaining. Go do something. Why do you think he stopped talking to you in the first place? Because you always trying to take your problems to somebody else. Go somewhere. So Jordan discovers that Simone is applying to Princeton, which is all the way on the East Coast, and he don't seem too happy about that. But I'm more shocked at the fact that this girl's baby Serena, I ain't know this whole time. And I was hoping that she found like a tennis racket somewhere on that property so they could show off her skills. It ain't happened. And then meanwhile, Spencer over here decided to read his dad's letter, so now he's reading through the first one. And then back at the Baker's household, we got Mama Laura and Two Belt Billy going down memory lane with, you know, their old apartment and everything, rebuilding that connection that they had, trust. So the dudes are back at the cabin prepping dinner with Vanessa, and after they make jokes on Asher, she goes out to talk to him and tells him that if they're his friends, they shouldn't be treating him the way that they're treating him, and how she knows, I guess it was the whole Mexico thing, he really opened up to her, you know. She knows that the situation with his dad and him losing all their money and everything really hurt him. I was like, she know you. She know you was broke. You told her all that. She's telling him that he needs to open up and let them see the person that she got to see in Mexico. I was like, dang. How long was he in Mexico for? This girl, she know his whole life. Y'all, we got to the lingering touch scene. And when I tell you that this scene was so beautiful. It was beautiful. Listen, him sitting by the lake, and when she walks up and just sits there, it's like a breath of fresh air for him. Like, I feel like this scene was so monumental because, you have Asher and Layla in the background just watching this whole thing take place. But with them two there, it was like, no, they didn't know no one else was around. And you could literally tell that because he opened up to her. And I feel like him talking to her was the easiest conversation he's had to have than any conversation that him and Layla have had this season so far. Just him even sitting in the house when he was telling her about the letters initially and him being torn as to whether or not he wanted to read them. But now sitting here with Liv, he can just open up to her. Everything he's telling her is just flowing out, and she's easy to talk to. This one got my heart right here, you guys. This was it. When she told him, of course he was angry in those letters, but the dad that you actually got to know had moved past all that, and don't you want to know how? I was like, she understands him. He's not even trying to change his mindset or anything. My girl Layla earlier in the episode when they were in the house going over the letters initially, and she was trying to put her own thoughts out there, but then at the same time was like, it's your choice. No. And then Liv, this got me too. This sealed the deal right here. She said, there's a second chance to get to know your dad in the way that time stole from you. I said, poetry. Poetry. What? And then she got up and did the little slow hand walk away. But just that whole scene was like therapy for him. Oh, he don't even need that therapist back home. It was so comforting, and she just listened. I feel like that's the main thing. Like, she listened and he felt comfortable enough to talk to her about the situation because he knows the kind of person that Liv is, and what she told him was exactly what he needed to hear, but then also what he should have heard all along, because it was great advice. You never knew this version of your dad. You didn't know him for years because he went away, and now a lot of those years are filled with these letters that he had written to you. And yeah, they're not all going to be pretty because he was going through things throughout those years, but you know what the reason was for him leaving in the first place, so you're able to prepare for that a little bit more. Plus, you're older now, so it's not even like you're in a place where you can't handle it. But just think, because he's gone, so you are no longer able to create memories with him going forward. But to have this as what she called it, exactly what it is, it's a gift. Something you didn't have before, and you thought just the memories that you were able to create with him when he came back into your life, you thought that was it. You didn't have anything else from that. But now you have all these letters of how he felt about you, of everything he was experiencing during that time, and it can fill the void just a little bit. And Liv got that. The two in the back, man. So while Spencer and Liv are having their little moment, not even a little moment, having their big moment, we got Layla and Asher in the back looking at them like lovers who aren't loved back. And Asher's like, don't those two seem a little close to you? And Layla, my girl's finally putting things together. If 2 + 2 is 4, she know what's up. And she's looking like, she's looking a little salty. It's looking a little salty. And Asher's like, do you ever wonder what really happened this summer? And that right there got my girl wheels turning. She know what's up. She know. It took her a long time, but she to the point now where she see. Now homegirl Patience meets up with little Jules at the cafe, and she turned out to be legit, y'all. She was like, girl, I would never take another artist's song. That was JP. I wouldn't do that. But you could come on tour with me. She was like, come on tour and you can sing your own song. I'll get you a tutor and everything. I said, Patience, you better take this opportunity, girl. Forget Coop. Time to go solo. So Spencer's now reading Papa Corey's letters because little Livy Liv done gave him some motivation. And as they're preparing for dinner, Liv goes to talk to Asher, who's now throwing some shade because he's really peeping that connection between her and Spencer. Now at the dinner, Spencer's all in a great mood coming to the table, but my girl Layla is looking up kind of salty because she see too. Her and Asher done woke up out of their little sleep that they were in, so now they're both in their feelings because they realize these feelings that the people they're in relationships with have for each other. Now we're at the campfire having game night. And if I could describe the word messy, it would be this whole situation. This is what we learned. Annoying Vanessa doesn't know how to stay in her lane. And she's out here offering up alcohol like homegirl Liv isn't a recovering addict. Okay, she be drinking, but they don't know that. We find out that homegirl Liv was indeed in Las Vegas. And she was over there splurging on some $300 shoes. Homegirl Simone. Now we understand why her and Layla get along so well. They both have loose lips. That's how we found out that homegirl Liv was up in Vegas. Asher apparently was over here telling this girl Vanessa his whole life story because she sure know a lot about him. Simone didn't even know that this boy Jordan cheated on his test to get back in the game after his concussion. And this whole time, my girl Layla was given the side eye because she'd been in her feelings ever since that whole lake ordeal with Spencer and Liv. So homegirl Simone gets tight and she goes to dip out, but Jordan follows her and they get into this whole argument because she's upset with the concussion protocol that he cheated. He's mad about the college application that she's working on, and they realize maybe we don't really know each other. So she's ready to split. Does that mean he's available for Layla? Nah. My girl Layla too good for him. So while those two lovers are outside going through it, we have the unwanted lovers inside trying to work through some basic math. My girl Layla is working through her mind Liv actually being in Vegas over the summer, even though everyone thought she wasn't. Everyone minus Spencer. And then at the same time, she's spilling the beans to Asher that Liv was indeed in Mexico and she saw you up on the beach with Vanessa. But she ain't say nothing. And that's what got him. He was like, where is she? And Layla, she's in her own head right now because she has so many things to work through. She was like, I don't know. She ain't say that, but that's what she thinking. I don't know where she at. Go find her. Tuba Billy got the garbage disposal working again, so him and Mama Laura celebrate with some vodka. You know, working on putting that family back together. And then he also makes a comment about the dresses, you know, trying to fish out if she's seeing anyone. He was like, sorry I kept you from your date or whatever. She just had a date with the girls, but she canceled because she also wants to put that family back together. I feel it. It's gonna happen because what's stopping him? She was fishing out too if he had a girlfriend or not. He ain't seeing nobody. He wants you, girl. You know he wants you. And you want him. But they're just trying to play hard to get right now because they both don't want to be suckers. Coop shows up at the cabin because she thought Spencer was there by himself. She tight because she gets in and she sees that everyone else is there. But relax, because it's not even like he invited them. They showed up because they were trying to support their friend. You didn't even ask no questions. She goes storming out, right? And this scene, the way they played it out between Spencer and Coop and Asher and Liv at the same time, deep. So with Asher and Olivia, he's upset because she knew this whole time the situation between him and Vanessa and hadn't said anything. It made it seem like when he told her, it was the first time she had heard about it. But then also, he knows that the reason why she didn't say anything is because you have something that you feel guilty about, which is your relationship with Spencer. He doesn't know to the depths of what that relationship goes to, but he knows there's something there, and that's why she's been acting the way she's been acting and why she ultimately didn't let him know that she knew about the summer situation in Mexico. But she's telling him she wants to leave summer in the past. And that's the thing with Olivia that I also realized is she's so good at supporting the people around her and helping the people around her, but she's toxic to herself. She doesn't give to herself. So when he starts listing off to her all the ways in which she's helped him, and she's asking him, well, what's the problem with that? He doesn't want to be the victim. And I think also a reason why she's partly staying with him is out of pity, honestly. Like, you've helped him in some of his darkest times, and you've been in this relationship with him this whole time during those dark times. And he's no longer in that position, and he's to a place where he's grown and he's trying to move on from that. And the summer that he previously experienced was a big part of helping him move forward with that. I get where he's coming from, and I also see where she's coming from at the same time, because she's not used to getting what she wants. She doesn't know how to help herself, and I feel like she's keeping herself from getting what she wants because she's trying to keep everyone else around her happy. No, girl, go after what you want, or she's gonna be wishing for it all your life. From the beginning, she didn't get what she wanted, which was Spencer originally, and I feel like everything in between the beginning and now was her settling for other things, but then also giving a lot of herself to help those around her. That whole scene though just made me think back to season 1 with Spencer and Layla's conversation at homecoming, where he told her, "You're a giver, but when is it gonna be your turn?" And listen, my Team Layla people, don't come for me, because I have now switched over. Layla deserves better. But those words, he said them, but they were meant for Liv. But I honestly feel like those words play true to Liv in this moment. She gives so much of herself and does so much for people around her, and not only should she be getting what she wants right now, but she also needs help right now, and no one knows it, and she's struggling. Asher's grown. He's not the same person, neither is Liv, which is why they're not clicking the way they were in the beginning, where she was able to be there for him. Now Coop and Spencer, that kind of hurt a little bit. They seem like they are really going through it. She's losing her best friend, the person who has been with her all this time, and you know, her ride or die basically. I feel like they'll be able to work through it and everything, but I feel like it's gonna definitely take some time. From her point of view, I see where she's coming from, but at the same time, I wholeheartedly agree with Spencer, because he's like a brother to you. He always said he would be there to protect you and everything. Whatever you need, he has you. He didn't even want to go to Beverly initially because of you, his mom, and Dylan. He didn't want to leave you behind. You know, you grew up together and everything. She's saying because she told him when she was getting involved with Sean, don't interfere. The whole situation with Tyrone, don't interfere. She did tell him, you know, stay out of it. I got it. Don't worry about me. You go to Beverly. You be great. You play your football. I'ma do me. I'ma take care of me. But come on, did you really think he was just gonna leave you as close as you two were and are? He was just gonna throw you to the wolves and dip? Like, he told you up front that you're family. So she put him in that position to have to step up and do something. Because, Coop, what were you really gonna do? And you put yourself in these situations, yes. But how would he look if he just left you? Coop was over there spitting some Nikki verses too. Coop was like, yeah, you're the one who chose to be all S on my chest because I'm ready to save him. I said, Nikki? An All-American? Oh, side note, Liv Girl didn't even seem upset with that whole Asher conversation. She seemed so relieved. It was like, oh, finally. But you said it. We're done, right? Okay, just making sure. Spencer? I'm heading out from the cabin. My girl Layla doesn't even show any sympathy towards the fact that Coop and Spencer's relationship is basically done. She was just like, I guess everyone knows where they stand now. I'll be in the car. So Simone and Jordan talk everything out on the way home. They're back going strong. And then you got Coop over here. She's all upset and depressed because of the whole Spencer situation. So she's with Patience, who's, oh, that's how you know somebody loves somebody, because she was doing a little lingering finger thingies to make her feel better and everything, trying to comfort her and, you know, letting her know she's there for her temporarily, because in the corner we see Patience girl's bags are packed. She about to go on tour. Coop ain't gonna have nobody. Layla and Spencer are heading home now. Silence in that car. Dead silence. And it's not even awkward silence. It's just tension. You can feel it coming off of her. And he's all in his own head. And then we have Papa Corey, whose letter is playing in the background. And he spins some facts, some knowledge. He said, do better than me. Always face your truth, no matter how hard. And that right there prompted Spencer to want to talk about Vegas. But too late, because my girl Layla, this whole time that she's been fuming in silence, has been doing 2 + 2, adding things up. And she realized, she said, Spencer, I'm only going to ask you this once. And please respect me enough not to lie about it. What really happened in Vegas this summer? She know. But she want to hear from your mouth. What's up with you and Liv? Next week is Vegas week, y'all. Yo, Spencer, Liv, we about to see. We're gonna get the whole story. The whole story. Everything. Everything's about to come out. Vegas? I've been waiting for this. This is about to be whoo. But then at the same time, I'm like, Spencer, you was messing with both of them? The same week? The same trip? What they do that at? Coop. We're gonna see all of them living their best lives before we get back to the reality of the present. And then everything that we get to experience next week with Vegas week is about to wreak havoc on Crenshaw and Beverly. Poor JJ, he gonna be hurt when he find out he can't have Vanessa, his little VJJ. Spencer and Layla was good while it lasted. They're about to be over after next week. And Coop, I don't know what she about to do. No Patience, no Spencer. And I hope she don't think she going on tour with Patience, because no, let her do her. You do you. Y'all, I'm ready for Vegas. This is about to be a mess. I thought that Campfire was a mess. No. After next week, it's about to be a mess. But you know, I'm here for it. So that was this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.